Hello, beautiful family. How are you all doing? Thank you so dearly for always tuning in. I really appreciate. Today, the first time you are coming across us, so you are hearing this voice for the first time. We still remain Progress News, and we give you all the latest updates. Remember, in this platform, we react to all videos, and your opinion is highly needed. So sit back, watch this video, and I'll be right back.
Now, Nigeria is at a precipice, and for me, I believe what is holding Nigeria now is that the millions of Nigerians who participated in the 25th of February presidential election are hooked on to the happenings at the Abuja presidential election petition tribunal. And a lot of us, since it was not beamed live, a lot of us are relying on snippets that are coming out from the court. And the recent happening is the fact that Peter Obi and his counsel subpoenaed somebody from Amazon Web Services. I think I've forgotten the name again. Is it Clarita or something like that? To be at the tribunal. So we spoke. Can you please just reiterate what you told me while we spoke privately? Just feel free and say your mind.
Okay, thank you, Magnus, and your efforts so far. What happened is that I will start again by telling the audience my name. Dr. Brian Vincent. I'm an academic professor of law at the Prof University and a practicing legal consultant in the UK. What happened is Nigeria globally is recognized globally because of so many things, in spite of its current economic shambles and political crisis. But the fact that Nigeria have a very large population globally, coupled with their human and material resources, so they are well noted globally. Crisis or any conflict in Nigeria will affect the global community in terms of migration flow, because people will try to seek refuge within the international system and especially within the Western world, the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and so on and so forth. So what is going on in Nigeria is quite a global affair, a global issue. And coming back to your question, I've been marking closely what is going on in the political terrain in Nigeria, especially the 2023 presidential election, what transpired, and so on and so forth. And not only myself, my colleagues, other experts, and international gurus, even leaders of thought, policymakers, NGOs are quite following what is happening in Nigeria, because what is happening in Nigeria actually affects the global issue, the global affair, if you look at what happened within the international global arena. So coming specifically to what you asked me, because the matter is still on what we call sub judice. Sub judice is a situation where a matter is still with the judge. That is a particular case or matter is under trial or being considered by a justice. So you don't need to make any certain statements that might influence. So I need to be very straightforward, open. It's just a comment in order not to be biased. But I will put my decision specifically to the subpoena which was given to the Amazon staff by name Clarita Oga. The witness is what we call a material witness. It is very important to understand what a material witness means. In a layman language, it's a witness whose evidence is likely to be sufficiently important to influence the outcome of a trial, especially when you connect that witness, that statement, from what is happening, other evidence that has been given. Then if you come from a legal man's perspective, a material witness is one who possesses information going to some fact that affect the merits of the case. Generally, the information the material witness possesses has strong probative value, and few in any other witness possess the same information. Because of the importance of a material witness testimony, judges usually make very reasonable effort to have such witness made available to the testimony in order to recognize the value of that witness. The fact is not so many people. In fact, one or two other person might not possess the same statement, the same information that witness is coming to tender or to give in the court. And that is exactly what happened in the case of Clarita Mpe Oga. Her witness is quite very weighty and very valuable, but it's left for the court to decide on that witness. If you look at her witness,
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hello. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh. Can you please put the camera in such a way that your head can be close to the top of your camera? Just align it so that your head. Give me another one. Open another one. Hello, can you hear me?
Are you okay with it?
Let it go up a bit more. Beautiful. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, just before you interrupted me, I was clearly trying to explain that the subpoena I gave in to Clarita Mpe Oga, who is a staff of Amazon, and the statement she gave with reference to the Amazon Web Services, AWS, where she meant to prove to the presidential election petition court sitting in Abuja that electronic transmission of the February 25th presidential election was not prevented by any technical glitches, contrary to what has been put forward by the other party, the Inec and the APC.
Let me put it in a way that our audience will listen, will understand what you just said. You are saying that Clarita came and said that the excuse that Inec gave, that there were glitches resulting to the inability of Inec to transmit presidential election to the beavers was false. Yes,
Oga said there was no such technical glitches.
Okay.
There was no such technical glitches. It's a statement from the witness, Clarita from Amazon. It is left for the court now to decide from that witness by connecting with other circumstantial evidence that has been produced to the court in order to determine the value attached to that witness. And there are some other things you need to understand. There is no other person that has that information except Amazon. And Amazon is the owner, the operator of that Amazon Web Service. So a very high probative value is attached to the witness given by Clarita Mpe Oga. In the sense that she went on to use a very good illustration or what I might call some evidence by connecting 6 regions and giving some data on what comes in that 6 regions, including those of Africa. So the Oga is being quite straightforward and trying to make it very clear in order to assist the court. There are some other aspects that comes into the evidence he gave. You should know that Amazon is a global giant organization in terms of business. They have made a very goodwill. That's what you call goodwill in business. It's a good name or the reputation of a business which is earned by an organization through hard work and honesty of its owners. And it takes quite a long period to obtain that reputation or that goodwill. And in this instance, if the court later finds out that the INEC actually, the statement they made regarding to glitches is not actually factual, that the statement of Oga is quite very correct in the sense that can even lead to a probable court case bringing a suit against INEC and even the federal government for trying to damage the goodwill of Amazon. That is another aspect of it. And looking at what is happening, and I just want to draw the attention of the court, especially the judges, to bear in mind that the world is actually watching them. And the fact, in terms of giving the judgment, they need to make sure that they give justice a very high chance, and not to make decision based in what we call by inferring. So they need to consider through not giving
my Oga, anytime, hello, anytime you use legal terminology or legal balance, please break it down for us so that we understand what you are saying.
That's what I'm saying, that the judges should not give evidence based on par inferring. That's what it means, is that they should not give evidence by lack of due regard to the law or the fact. Because all these things that we are getting are the law and the fact, they need to connect it to the fact and give evidence that actually is very much relied on the law and the facts that have already been gotten. And connecting the issue, if you want to try to analyze this more in depth, you should look at if the court decides based on the witness given by Claritoga that there was no glitches. It means that there was a very clear and deliberate effort, coupled with other evidence like some of those EC from 18 that are not clear. It means that it was deliberately done. The announcement, which was made very early on on early morning, around 4 a.m. as I heard, to announce the result for the presidential election, it shows that all those things were deliberately done because there was no glitch. It was meant in order to achieve a purpose, and that purpose was achieved. So, if I might conclude, what I'm saying is that the evidence or the witness is quite very weighty and substantial, and the court should take it into account while trying to give judgment. I'm not trying to say that it's correct or not, but they need to connect other circumstantial evidence that has been given in order to show whether that witness can stand. But it's a witness that is quite very substantial and weighty. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Don't go yet. First and foremost, I'd like to say, for us to have a professor of law from the UK to delve into the challenges of Nigerian politics, it's a huge opportunity, particularly for me. I want to say the pleasure is mine. I wouldn't take that away from you, sir. Before we end this broadcast, I would like to say it's an honor having you here on our show, believe me. But I'd like to ask a few questions. Now, before the arrival of this star witness from Amazon, there was a professor of mathematics who researched and discovered that 18,400 polling units were blurred, and an average was taken to say, okay, if so number of people actually voted, which amounted to votes allotted to 18 candidates, divided by the number of polling units that were not seen, it appears that every polling, judging from an average of 135 voters per polling unit, multiply that by the total number of blood results from 18,400 polling units, it appears that 2.4 million votes are unaccounted for or cannot be explained on how it is allocated. From a legal perspective, what is this implication?
Yes, from what you said, that number, if the court takes it, because this depends on the court, the decision of the judges who have the utmost say, but they don't have utmost say that they will be quite, they will do it so subjectively, need to be objective because people know what is going on. That is quite a substantial number and can influence the decision of an election, even the election body. If you look at the close range between the three contesting parties, B2B, Tinubu, who won the election according to Inec, B2B and Atiku, they are very close. So if you give one person that 2 points, or even 1 million, it can actually change the result of the election. But you have to bear in mind that the mathematician from the Anambra State University, as I can say, use what we call random sampling by choosing 2 states, Rivers, and then I think another state, Benue or what?
No, I think he denied. I think he denied the fact, because some of the INEC council asked him if it was random sampling. He said no, it wasn't random sampling. That those were the data available for him to make the research as at when he was contracted to do the job.
No. Yeah, he said that what I'm saying when I say random is the selection of the states. The 2 states selected was based on random, which is quite good.
I think the professor of math deliberately didn't want his work to be reduced to random sampling, and I think that there's a reason why he didn't want that random sampling to be mentioned. In any case,
no, it's not. You should understand where I'm going. He didn't choose that state by himself. He selected it based randomly, which is good. If he selected by himself, it means that he's trying to be biased. But the decision, other things that are connected to it, the numbers and other things are not randomly.
Of course. These are physical data. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He used physical data.
But the state itself was selected based on what comes out to the professor. Yes.
Okay, so now, as a lawyer, even though I'm a layman in the legal profession, but with my small sense, I can tell that with the videos played, with Inec showing that, with the videos that was played in court, where Mahmoud Yakubu, the Inec chairman, constantly and repeatedly reassuring Nigerians that results from polling unit will be transmitted in real time. I always like emphasizing the word real time. That video with the evidence of the professor of mathematics, with now the evidence of the Amazon staff. To you as a lawyer, what are the likelihood that most obedient now can say yes? I think to a large extent we are proving our case, at least to a reasonable doubt. Beyond.
As I told you from the beginning that the matter is still a sub judice, which means the matter is under a judge. I'm not giving a very clear cut out decision. It is left for the court. And if you look at my analysis before, I told you that the witness, the material witness from the Amazon staff, when it is connected to other evidence. And when I say other evidence, it's like what you mentioned, the clip from the Inec chairman, the blurred EC8 form, and so many other things that were there. When they connected, even the announcement that was done in 4 a.m. in the morning, and some issue where they were telling the Inec chairman not to even announce the result, to clear some dust before announcing the result. All those things will be connected in terms of making a decision. And what I would say that they are waiting, but we have to wait. The public need to wait and listen to the views and submission of the other parties, including the APC, PDP, Inec, before the court can give a decision.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be here to just make any straightforward verdict, but my comment have actually touched on certain very substantial and important issues within the case, especially the witness from the Amazon, because there is so much reliance on that technical glitch on the Vivas machine. And where does it come from? It carries the issue of transmission is quite important, and that is what the witness from Amazon came to clear. She cleared it very well. If you look at the power of witness statement, especially those that were subpoenaed, for example, the United States case of United States against Matusaya, that evidence was taken very important in the case regarding transportation and harboring of aliens. They took that evidence, that witness, very important because it's a material witness. That is exactly what that witness from Amazon represented, and it's very difficult to actually push it aside by the other parties. That is the very essence of my analysis.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Now, so Prof, thank you for your time. You've been wonderful. But as a parting statement, what would you have to say to obedience and millions of Nigerians who thronged out to vote for Peter Obi, believing that a new Nigeria was indeed possible? What is your parting statement for these people?
Basically, I'm trying to make a reference to the so-called obedience. What I was saying.
Sorry, what do you mean? What did you mean by so-called obedience? A lot of our audience will not.
I believe are those who are supporting the Labour Party,
yes,
and the millions of Nigerians who want a change because of the crisis the political leaders have caused in Nigeria. It's a country blessed with milk and honey, if you refer it or make reference to the biblical injunction of milk and honey. But it is people, human beings that are destroying the Nigerian economy, the Nigerian political system. They are the political elite. And these masses who are supposed to be benefiting from the society are being put in a state of poverty, state of penury. That is why they are looking for changes, and that changes is quite necessary. So what I will say to them is to have hope. It is better that they did not go to the street to rampage, to destroy, because nothing good comes from conflict. The way they are following the matter through the judicial process is quite encouraging, and they need a part at the back. And most importantly, the judges has a very, very important and pivotal role to play. They should not neglect the masses, because there is a point you can push people to the wall. They should understand the perseverance and patience of the Nigerian masses, and now all hope are restored or reposed on them to give a justice that will be quite objective, based on the facts and the law and the evidence that we are giving in the court. So what I will say to them is to have quite a good hope, because if you look at the case, the way the case are going, definitely they seem to have a very strong case. But until we hear from the other party, they are doing well from what they are doing, because the evidence they are bringing are quite substantial and weighty in nature.
Okay,
but
sorry, before yeah,
and evidence, cross-examination, and so on from the other party, APC, Inec, and the PDP, then we'll start waiting for the judges to give
even though I said if it was going to be my last statement, I just remembered I should just put this one. Do you think that Tinubu, judging from his overbearing nature and self-assuming nature, do you think he can actually influence these judges?
I don't want to go into political issue by saying overbearing or this nature. What I know is that politics influences the legal sector. The legal sector where influences the political sector. And again, the executive actually influences, especially where the rule of law is not active, like in most developing countries, not just Nigeria. There is possibility for the executive arm to influence what is happening in the judiciary. If you look at the Nigerian dissident history, the executive arm has actually influenced a lot of decision by the judges. What is left on the conscience of the judges to either agree to be influenced, to be used, because their image is also at stake, and even those of their families, because they are known globally. I think I know their names from when they are published, and the international community also know their name. So they have a duty. They have a role to play, and they need to play this role very, very objectively in order to salvage the interest of their children and their unborn children in the coming generation, because that's what development is all about. For the future generation and the new generation unborn. They should not use, because of either being influenced by monetary issue or other self-aggrandizement, in order to ruin the life and the prospect of millions of Nigerians who suffered by trooping out en masse in order to vote on 25th February 2023, in spite of all types of thuggery and political crisis that took place during the election period. I think I'm done at this point.
Thank you very, very, very much. Prof, it's been a pleasure having you on this show. This is Water TV, and we've had Professor Brian Vincent from the Bradford University in the United Kingdom with us to delve on issues that borders on the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, and in particular, the appearance of an Amazon staff So I believe with what we've heard and everything we've heard, viewers and Nigerians in general can manage their expectation with regard to the outcome of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Mr. Brian, Professor Brian, it's been a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you. We hope when we call you again, you would want to be part of this show.
Thank you for taking my humble opinion.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you very, very much. Bye. So, gentlemen, that was Professor Brian Vincent from the UK, Bradford University, who just joined us. Incidentally, he's a Nigerian, and he felt he needed to put a thing or two to our judicial system. And I'm sure most obedience across Nigeria will want to listen to this. If you're a blogger, feel free, pick this video and just cut the particular part that the interview has had and then share it. Please remember to follow this page. If you're watching us, just pause a while and follow us, because we are giving you the water treatment here. We know they hold back. And if you feel like supporting us, because an aware man they work and they're in the chop, if you feel like supporting us, please you can contact us inbox and then or support us. You can also say we thank you, you did do well. Thank you for being part of this program. We wish to meet you again tomorrow with another guest. As we wish.
So my wonderful family, that brings us to the end of this update. Do well to like the video, share and subscribe. Thank you and bye-bye.